So we're going to do some test printing on bread bags. We're going to use all of the REINER printers to show this. So the REINER 790, 798, 970, and the 940. We're going to start with the jet stamp 790. We print right on the bread loaves in a moment as well. So with the 790, you can see how you can, the jet stamp, the first one might not be perfect, and that's why we're doing a test run. You want to hold it in place, and once you get a couple going, they should all go in sequence quite well. So they work best when you lay them out like I have them here in a sequence, and the ink will run freer as you keep using it. So you can choose. So you can see now we're going to print directly on the loaves. There are different kinds of breads here, so to print on these directly, basically you just want to make sure that the print head doesn't touch the paper and not move too much. So I kind of like to balance the back side on the loaf. If you want to make it look nice here, you can hold it there. Tiny bit, and that's why it's blurry. So now with this unit as well, I'll print on some more bags. Within this unit itself, I can do multiple different projects, about 10 different projects. So now I have a different message. And I can move to the next one. This is a different one I have saved. The next one. You can hold up to 10 different messages with this. This will allow up to 20 characters. You're limited to 1/8 inch text height with this unit. And it's all capital letters on this one, so this one is for basic text and characters. Now we're going to move on to this is the 798, and it is, so basically this one is controlled by my movement. Now hold the button down, and you can see that. Similar text to the other ones, but you now have more flexibility with that time. I slowed down a little bit. I didn't go quite as fast, so you'll get it. There is a little bit of technique. This one will only hold one unit of one message, but it's very light. That one I didn't, my speed wasn't very good. So there's a bit of a technique, and now we'll print onto the breads themselves with this unit. I'm going a little too slow. You can increase, you can adjust the settings. You can adjust the settings in the thing on the actual, kind of some of the speed control in the software. Next we'll move on to the next unit, which is similar to the first one. This is a Graphic 970, so this has a larger print area. The first couple prints is typical to not have to get the ink flowing. So that's why we suggest having them laid out like this and doing several at a time. So I'm going to just get my ink flowing a little bit better. In the very beginning, you're going to need to do this. With the units, you can also go to the C, which is a clean function. And when you do that, you'll see it prints a tiny little line. So it's kind of purging the ink. And it's also handy to have around a cloth here. And a little isopropyl alcohol won't hurt. Sometimes you won't need that, but just to clean the print head, especially if it's been sitting for a while or the beginning of the next day. Then you go through some test printing. Once you get it rolling, it will be fine. And you'll see it'll get better It'll keep getting better the more I print, and then it'll get to the point where you're ready to go. Okay, so that's running acceptable now. Depending on what kind of message you want, with this printer, you're limited to a larger print area, 2.5 by 1.5 inch, versus the little one, which you can only go 1/8 of an inch text. Ink formulation is slightly different with these two printers as well. Water-based, this is the water-based ink. And then we'll print onto the bags. Again, you're going to want to make sure that it doesn't actually touch the bag, the print head. Try not to move. As long as the print head doesn't drag, it's okay if it's not exactly, you got about a 1/8 to a 1/4 inch throw distance from the actual print head that you'll have room for it to actual print. This one is obviously rough. You can see here let's see how that one prints when I'm up higher. See, the further away it goes, the less clear it's going to be. So you want to find a fairly flat place. It doesn't drag, but it will work. The jet stamps will work quite nicely with them. So let's move on to the last one. This is the 940. I don't think this one will work very well for what you're doing. It will work for the flat bags. So once again, I have a test print here. I'm going to use the same ink cartridge. These two units use the same ink. So, and the first two units use the same ink. So this one, like this. So with this unit, the wheels here have to roll. This is the encoder. So I'm going to do some test printing on this one. And you're going to see, hold the trigger and push, and hold the trigger and roll. Once again, I'm going to just get my ink flowing. So I'm going to dab it. That's why the more you can do in a row, the better they will work. So you see my ink is getting better. With this one, you have a 1/2 inch by 5.5 inch print area. And this red part here, this line, this bar shows you actually where your print is going to be. So now if I want to head and print it on the bags, again, you're limited to the wheel rolling. So I have really long messages here in this demo. It's a bit more of a challenge, depending how long your message is. That's why I think this is probably not the right unit for this. Technique is a little bit more challenging. Yeah, this one doesn't feel like I'm going to get my wheels to even roll properly on it. And we'll go to the bags now. I don't think this is going to work very well at all due to these wheels. See how this one is just not going to work well. The wheels on an uneven bread surface. This won't be the right tool. Well, I actually got that one to kind of work, but in order to get these wheels to roll, the print head to be a 1/4 inch close, it's going to be very challenging. As you can see here, this is. You had a short message, yes, but I don't think that was probably the right tool. But now you see how they work. So just simulate a actual production here. So when I take the bags, I would just give them a little turn like that. This is what I would do personally to make it easier to grab. I'm going to use the Speedy Jet for this example. I'm going to pretend we're going to print right down here in the bottom. It's going to be a little bit of a technique, getting the speed down. gonna start more over in the middle, get the speed. Straighten it out. I had my hand twisted. See how you can get a better technique. That I'm gonna maybe use now. I'm gonna use the other, the jet stamp. Switch the ink over. Just a little. Depending where you want to do it, you'd have to So for the software for the 790, this one, basically it's straightforward. You type your messages up on the top, and then you drag your icon into the area where you want it to be. I had to put it into this one. If you want to clear it, you throw it into the recycle bin. So in this case, I would drag it to where you want it to be, and you can see down here where it actually throws it into my message. So this one you are allowed 2 lines of messages, and here's with this arrow is each one. So that's the second message, third, and so on. So for the Speedy Jet, the software is similar type, and you type your message here again, and you drag, recycle. They have similar type softwares, but they are different. And then to transfer it, you just hit one of these buttons here. It transfers if you want to just send a line. Okay, I don't have it connected right now. This unit connects first via the wire. So the 790 unit connects through its base, and the Speedy Jet connects via this USB. Moving on to the other 2 graphics, they have a different software, and they connect via a micro USB, or they also have Bluetooth, a Bluetooth option that you can send wirelessly. So they have a different software. So here it's the Graphic 970 program. And in this case, you drag and drop text, type, and you can rearrange this in calendar dates, counters. So you have a little more flexibility in your software. Again, 1/2 inch by 2.5 inches with this one. And then you have 4 messages that you can create. If you want to use the 940, actually I can switch over to view, the 940. Now I have the same software but a larger print area. So that's the 940 software. Okay, so the last one I want to show you is this, how we create a template to help print in a specific spot on the bag or on the surface that you're doing. So this is just a cardboard. I just use a manila folder. So with the cardboard on, I now can test print. And what I can do is, in a specific area, if you had to say you wanted to print right on that line, I can put my little space there. And get lined up exactly where you want it to print. Find the spot that you want to print it. I wanted to print it on the top of this bag. On the back of this one is already printed from the bag, and maybe I want to put it just above that.